Hey guys, flipper knives are here to Australia, so I went and ordered myself one. Thought, don't know much about them, not from practical experience anyway, so I'll start with the basic, perhaps the original, the quintessential flipper knife, as far as I could tell anyway. Skyline 1760 by Kershaw. Standard edition. Let's unbox. It's a cool little box. Opens out like that. That's nice. It's tippy. Alright. Silica gel. Some literature. It's about what a knife is and things like that. Locks and stuff, that's cool. And then here it is. It's the Kershaw Skyline. Never held this knife before. Let's work through this together. So this is a flipper, let's see how it flips. So I guess you just... oh yeah. Fairly strong action from me there, and the knife sort of kind of got there, but definitely not. To really kick this one. It's smooth, but it just feels like the blade's heavy. I'm sure that's the break-in period though. Must just be a break-in thing. Perhaps I could loosen the pivot a bit, we'll see. The lock-up's through a liner lock there. One side of stainless steel, the other side is just bare G10. So single liner, just to keep the weight down I suppose. Got a spear-shaped drop point blade. It's hollow ground with a flat portion up here. Slight swedge at the top there. Very slight. Feels pretty sharp. It's also got a secondary thumb stud opening. Let's see how they work. Certainly not ideal, the thumb studs. If you look there, that's really close to this hump here. So actually getting a thumb in there, a little bit tricky. Kind of have to really jam it in. There's this really tiny bit of space. So I press my thumb in it and you see how much you have to work with when I take my thumb off. So watch this, I press that in there. So you can see that little, between the dimple there and the line there, that's the amount of space you got to wriggle your thumb in. So kind of flips open okay. The thumb stud almost feels a bit too small though, or something, for that means of opening it. But I think the flipper's where it's at, and it's going to get pretty addictive, I would suggest, especially once the knife breaks in. Another thing I do notice is when you sort of, and I know I'm new at this, when you flip down, your nail, which I don't have super long nails, but my nail seems to run in this track here, kind of digs in a little bit into it, so it takes a little bite out of my nail. Just that on the edge there. But I mean, that's nothing. This is just all me getting to grips with it. Let's open it up. Push it out. So the cool thing about flipper knives is the flipper flips around and becomes part of the guard. Well, it does on lots of flipper knives anyway. This knife here, it's quite comfortable in the hand. Very simple handle. So you've got one index finger choil, which is big enough for even fairly large, fatty fingers, I would suggest. Feels fine there, feels fine there for more of your hard use kind of hammer grip style, but I think for just general use you use your index grip. Nice control there. What else have we got? Smooth down there, this is G10 handles. Fairly rough, about the same as the Paramilitary 2 G10, perhaps a little bit rougher. You've got pillar construction. No, you've got a backspacer construction, so you've got back block construction there with the screws going through there. You've got a tip down pocket carry, but I believe you can reverse this, which I certainly shall. You've got a blade made of 12C27 Sandvik steel. That's the steel that Mora use on their stainless steel knives, so it's a very good stainless steel. Definitely, on par with your AUS 8s, perhaps your VG10. This is a bead blast finish or a matte finish. Yeah, just a matte finish actually. So that will have some extra issues with rust over a polish, but that's just what you get for this appearance, which I think is quite a good looking knife. There's no jimping on the knife to speak of whatsoever. Not an issue at all. You're not going to have any grip problems with a knife that has an index finger choil and a guard though, so jimping isn't needed on a knife like this. So let's see how sharp it came out of the box. Let's slice up this Kershaw literature. It's definitely a good factory edge. Just a good factory edge, not an amazing one. Not on par with some of your cold steels or your Spydercos that you get, but more or less, there seems to be a little bit of a flat spot somewhere at the start. Just around there. That, so let's just see if it shaves. Yeah, it definitely shaves hair off. See? So that's all good. About as good as you'd expect. I've just been spoiled on factory edges. I mean, this Paramilitary 2 came obscenely sharp, but then it's a knife that's twice as pricey. Speaking of price, you probably scoff if you're in America because you probably get these for $30 a piece, but in Australia you pay about $90 for the Skyline, which in my opinion isn't too bad for an American made knife with pretty good materials. So it's a better stainless steel than most knives in this price category. For this price you're still getting AUS 8, 8CR13, MOV, maybe some VG10, which is probably about on par. And the G10 materials and the scales feels pretty good. 4-way pocket clip, so it's got some features and it's got a flipper most importantly, and that's quite rare in this country still to be able to buy that from a retail store, which I got this one from my standard knife retailer, AussieKnives.com. So I'll do a full review once I've got the hang of this knife, but I'll be carrying it every day until I've got a full opinion formed on it. Alrighty, thanks very much for watching guys, I'll see you all later. Sorry, just on that, I should probably do some actual, so this isn't a review, but just do some size comparison. So this is a 3-inch blade everyday carry knife. So you can see there, actually see there, it's sort of a little bit smaller than the Paramilitary 2. The blade, actually, might be a 3.5-inch blade. Because I think the Spyderco Paramilitary measures their blade from where the handle finishes, so it is a little bit longer there, but the actual cutting edge, pretty much the same as the Paramilitary 2. Paramilitary 2 might get a few more millimeters in having this curved around bevel, curved around grind, so this belly here. But it definitely doesn't feel like a big knife. It's actually quite nimble and very slim as well this way, which is always good. You can keep it in a pocket next to something else. Knives like this, just mainly because of this large hump here, generally start to take up a little bit of pocket space. I put this in my back pocket, but I think this will ride just fine in a front pocket. So that's the only thing I missed out just now. The pocket clip as well seems pretty good. Let's put it in my pocket, screw it, and I'll finish the video on that and let you know how it feels. That's a pretty good pocket clip. That's sort of I just sort of forced it downwards and it just steered over that seam, and now it's lying quite straight and flush. Certainly isn't deep carry, you can see the little tip sticking out there, but that's for a jean seam, which is sort of your wider seam, that's pretty good. See some of the black colouring coming off of there, so obviously just a painted clip. See that there? Whoops. It's probably my bad, but see if it keeps doing it. Yeah, so a little bit of coloration coming off the pocket clip, but probably nothing that's going to bother me too much, and I'm sure it will just wash off. So there you go. Alright, well, that'll about do me for now on the Kershaw Skyline folding knife. And stay tuned for a full review. See you dudes.